Hey there. Welcome to Honey to You, the podcast. I am Lindsay, your host, and I cannot describe in words how excited I am to finally have started this process to finally move forward with this podcast. Because if I'm honest with you, this has been a goal of mine for the last 3 to 4 years. And I just kept putting the pause button on it like over and over again. Because in my head, if everything was not perfectly aligned, then I could not move forward. And I realized that I was doing myself a huge disservice. Especially because I have this side business, Honey to You, and it's my baby. And in my head, I had this great vast idea of just making it this umbrella and creating a community for women where you can share and meet like-minded people and discover things about yourself that you haven't known yet, right? And this podcast is kind of a catalyst for this, of creating that community. And the perfectionism in me felt like if I didn't have the right equipment or the right lighting or the right space, I couldn't move forward with it. And 3, 4 years later, here I am still saying that I was going to start a podcast and not starting it because that idea of perfectionism, again, it's just another way of procrastinating. That is my lesson, right? Perfectionism is a lie. It is straight up procrastination because you are pausing the start button over and over and over again and making another excuse for why you cannot move forward. And if you are in that perfectionism anonymous club, or if you are one of those people that is constantly struggling with it, then you are in the right place, right? Because I truly don't believe in coincidence. I feel like that was a lesson to me, right? And learning how to move forward and something I can share. And if you are listening to me right now, then you are where you're supposed to be. There's something that you're supposed to learn or hear or give to me, through sharing and stories that has led you to this space right now. And I know that because I feel the same for myself. Like I said, right, the long process of getting here was truly a lesson for me on another personality trait that I had to learn to work through. And I feel like everything has led me to this point, right? Years and years of education, the beautiful, like amazing community of women that I have around me, and the friendships that I've made and the lessons that they've taught me, the major career change that I had after being laid off. I'm gonna tell you what I do in a minute, but my past life, I was in marketing and development corporate world, and I got laid off right before Christmas. And then I had in the back of my mind this thought to move into education. And I was afraid to kind of jump without doing the process perfectly. And I had no choice. And I jumped into education, and middle of a school year, started teaching middle school math. And it is the best change I've ever done. Just a major life change, major career change that has really just turned my world upside down in a positive way. Um, a end of a long relationship, long marriage, my decades long battle with body, right? Who I am as a mother, my drive to understand purpose. Just the list goes on and on. Like all of those things have kind of really helped to define and create like who I am as a person. And the lesson for me is, and I think for a lot of us, is that like a lot of women are in the same space that I am, trying to figure out who we are if we were to lose everything, right? If you were no longer a mother, if your kids got up and went to college tomorrow, right? And if you were no longer in a marriage and you attached yourself to the idea of being a spouse, um, like who would you be without those things? And how would you define yourself without the idea of being a spouse or a mother or a teacher or whatever your job title is? And I feel like that's the goal here, is really to start to define and discover ourselves without attaching a title to it. Who are you beneath all of that? What is your purpose here? And I would really love for this podcast to be a catalyst for discovering personal growth and authenticity. Who are you beneath everything else? What kind of life could you have if you were willing to let go of everybody else's expectations of you? And if you were willing to let go of the idea of validation? And if you were to define yourself by your individuality rather than being a part of what everybody else is doing? And that has really been the lesson for me over the last oh my God, I feel like I've been going through this personal journey for about 5, 7 years now. And it is a never ending journey of discovering self and what I'm capable of, and how I now see myself, and really just discovering the idea of peace. Right? Because that's the goal right now, is just to live a peaceful life, being completely happy with myself as I am. And that's what I want for anybody that's a part of this journey with me. So if you are looking for that authenticity and that self discovery and that personal growth and figuring out who you are and what your purpose is, then come along with me, right? Ride along with me. And I would love to share some stories with you from some amazing women that I have in my corner. I would love to hear your stories. I would love to really just, again, create a community of amazing women that are really about that life, not just saying that we're about community and connection and growth and moving forward, but really practice what they preach, right? So if I said something to you today that kind of like sparked something at you, or something you were thinking about maybe in the back of your mind, then please subscribe so that you don't miss anything, and so that you can be a part of this community. If I say anything else to you, just remember that you are 100% inherently worthy, regardless of what you do, what title you have, um, where you live, how much money you make. You are inherently worthy of all things. You're worthy of being heard, of being seen. You are valued. Um, and your worth is inherent regardless of any of those things. I see you, and I love you, and I hope to see you again soon. All right, bye.